Welcome to the From Battle to Business podcast. In this podcast, business coach and fellow veteran Dean Van Dyke will bridge the gap between service and civilian life, helping guide veteran business owners to supercharge their business and unlock hidden profits. You wouldn't go into battle alone, and now you don't have to in business. Let's get to it.
Well, welcome back. This is Dean Van Dyke, your host of From Battle to Business. And today we're going to talk about situational awareness within your business and why that's important. So stay tuned as we jump into this. So as we discussed, situational awareness within your business is absolutely crucial. And so what does that mean? Situational awareness. For those of us that have served in the military, it really means about understanding what your current situation is and what your future may look like. And so within business really it's your ability to perceive, to comprehend, anticipate relevant factors in your business and the environment with which you operate your business. And you might ask, why is that important? Well, in talking with a business owner a few weeks ago, they had lost sight. They really had lost situational awareness of their business. And it was really what they were having to do was to go back in, understand everything about their business. And this business has been around for decades. They had entrusted somebody to run their business and found out the hard way that it wasn't being run that way. And that's a painful lesson as a business owner to learn that, because you've got to maintain your situational awareness within your business. Because if you don't, you're not going to be able to make informed decisions. You're not going to be able to adapt your strategies effectively. And this business owner had to go back in and pull all the reports to understand where they were from a cash perspective, profit and loss, balance sheet. I mean, they had really taken their eye off the ball. And I understand you trust people to run your business. I really do. I get that. However, as I like to say, is you got to trust but verify that it's being done the way you want it to be done. And I'll give you another example. And if you haven't read this book, I highly recommend it. It's Never Finished by David Goggins. He talks about running the Moab 240, which is a 240-mile run, jog, walk, however you get it done. But he talks about how he trusted and didn't verify his pacer. And so they're into this run, and running 240 miles, wow, awesome. Well, they're into this run, and David looks down and starts to see footprints, but he only sees a few sets. So he's wondering, okay, what's going on? Well, the pacer keeps going. Unfortunately, they'd become out of cell range. They'd gotten out of cell range. But then he saw a set of tracks that would backtrack. And he starts to question what happened. And so they get to a point where he's like, well, wait a minute, something's not right here. And they turn around and head back. Then all of a sudden their phones start lighting up when they get cell coverage. And they learn at that point that they ran, I want to say it was, in the double digits. It was under 20 miles, I think, that they'd gotten off course because he had lost situational awareness. And he admitted he didn't verify his pacer's equipment, his GPS app, his tracking. And so, folks, when you're thinking about your business, it's the same thing. If you play sports, for example, I played baseball when I was younger. Love the sport. I was playing first base, and I took my eye off the pitcher, and we had a runner on first. Well, if you take your eye off the pitcher, for those of you that know baseball, sometimes they throw to first to get the base runner out. Well, because I had taken my eye off that pitcher, I took the ball to the face. And granted, we were teenagers, but that hurt. And that's very similar to what happens when a business owner takes their eye off their business. You lose sight of your cash flow. You lose sight of your profit and loss. You lose sight of your employee engagement. Don't do that. maintain that business situational awareness. And I'm going to give you some tips here because I don't want you to be a David Goggins and go miles off course, or this business owner that I talked to that, again, went miles off course because they lost focus. And there's a few things that you can maintain that awareness with. And we're going to talk just a little bit about some of those key performance indicators that I recommend. And if you have questions about them, please hit me up. I offer a complimentary coaching session. And so don't hesitate to reach out. It's complimentary. So first of all, I want to talk about employee engagement, because as a business owner, if you have employees, you need to be in tune with how they're feeling, how they're doing, measuring their performance. And through employee engagement, whether it's a survey, whether it's you talking to them on the shop floor, or you talking to them, just taking them out for lunch. Now, if you've got 50 employees, that might be a little tough. It'll take you a little bit longer to get that done. But think about how you can understand how they're engaged. And from there, think about your profit and loss, but even take that one step further and look at cash flow. So look at your EBITDA. And what EBITDA is, it's earnings before interest, taxes, depreciation, and amortization. It's one of the most widely used ways that a company measures financial health and your ability to generate cash. So just a couple more here. A lot of folks look at customer churn just based on how many customers I started the month with and how many customers I finished. And I'll give you a simple example. So a client or a business that has 10 customers or 10 clients, and they end the month at 9. Well, in theory, you've lost one client. But I'm going to add another wrinkle to that. I'm going to add what they call revenue concentration. And I measure this with my clients. If your revenue concentration is greater than 20% with any given client, we need to talk. And so when you think about, so let's take a step back and I'll talk about churn based on revenue. You have 10 clients. Of those 10 clients, that client that left was $200,000 of your revenue, of $200,000 of a $400,000 total revenue. So that one client took $200,000 out of your business. That's going to hurt. A recent example is Yellow Freight. As they struggled, now granted, they had a huge debt load thanks to an $800 million bailout by the government. But when their clients and customers started hearing about the challenges they were having from a labor perspective, they started pulling their business. And if they pull enough business, you're going to end up like Yellow Freight. Because as revenue concentration with one client grows, your other ones decrease. And so revenue concentration, I highly recommend you don't have any clients that are greater than 20%. And so when you think about your business situational awareness, keep those metrics in mind: EBITDA or cash flow, customer churn based on revenue, employee engagement, and revenue concentration. And those are just a few that I recommend for my clients to track. And if you're struggling and you want to understand more about your business and maintain that situational awareness, let's chat. At the end of August, I'm going to hold a CEO roundtable for a limited number of folks. There's a limited number of spots available. And it's going to be on the 24th of August from 11 to 11:45. And we're going to talk about key performance indicators, or KPIs, that you can leverage to maintain that situational awareness. So I hope you join us. I thank you for listening to this episode today of From Battle to Business with your host, Dean Van Dyke. Go create that legendary day.
Thanks for listening. In order to help others, please subscribe and share this show up with other veteran business owners in your network. If you want specific guidance, feel free to book a complimentary call with Dean at deanvandyke.com. Remember, you wouldn't go into battle alone, and now you don't have to in business.